Hold on to your seats, because what just unfolded in Davos might be the single most brilliant geopolitical power move of the decade. While the dying legacy media was busy pearl clutching over Trump's so-called aggression, the president just pulled off a masterclass in negotiation that has Wall Street celebrating, NATO scrambling, and Denmark realizing they've been playing checkers while Trump was playing 4D chess. Stick them to the very end of this video, because we're going to find out everything you need to know about how Trump operates on the world stage versus the weak-kneed establishment politicians who came before him, and how Trump not only didn't back down, he won. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, celebrating yet another day in Trump's golden age that you made possible back in November 2024. So if you want a front row seat on how you continue to change the world in ways you never even imagined, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. For weeks, the legacy media has been in full meltdown mode. Trump wants Greenland. He's threatening tariffs. He won't rule out military force. Trump is destroying NATO. He's alienating our allies. On and on and on they wailed. Denmark was furious. France's Macron was lecturing us about sovereignty. The European Union was threatening their own trade bazooka, whatever that means. And for a moment, it looked as if investors were actually buying into this nonsense. So on Tuesday, markets tanked. The S&P 500 had its worst day since October. The media narrative was set. Trump's Greenland obsession was destabilizing America, destroying our alliances, and proving he was an unhinged dictator wannabe. And then Wednesday happened. Trump arrived in Davos, the belly of the globalist beast. They actually rolled out the red carpet for him, literally. And then he walked into a room with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte and emerged with something nobody in the clueless, pathetic, irrelevant legacy media ever imagined possible. Trump got Greenland.
Mr. President, how did you do the deal? Come and tell us how you did the deal, sir.
It's a good deal, fair deal for everybody. I think it's a very good deal.
Can you give us more details about the deal?
How did you do the deal?
No, it's a great deal for everybody.
Will there be an acquisition? Greenland remain Danish for the days of Greenland? Will there be an acquisition?
No, I think they're going to be very happy. It's a great deal for everybody.
Will Greenland remain Danish?
The deal, sir? Could you explain it to us? Could you come and give us a word? The world wants to know how you did the deal, sir.
It'll be explained, but it's a really good deal for everybody.
Do you still plan to acquire Greenland?
Really good.
Is it a win for America?
Are the tariffs off the table completely now, sir? Can the people of the UK rest assured the deal's gone?
Based on the fact that it looks like we have the concept of a deal.
Within hours, Trump posted a Truth Social quote based upon a very productive meeting that I've had with Secretary General of NATO Mark Rutte. We have formed the framework of a future deal with respect to Greenland and, in fact, the entire Arctic region. That's key. We've been talking about that for months now. The entire Arctic region. That's what Trump always wanted. I'll continue. This solution, if consummated, will be a great one for the United States of America and all NATO nations. Based upon this understanding, I will not be imposing the tariffs that were scheduled to go into effect on February 1st. Additional discussions are being held concerning the Golden Dome as it pertains to Greenland. Further information will be made available as discussions progress. Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and various others, as needed, will be responsible for the negotiations, and they will report directly to me. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Wall Street's response? An absolute moonshot. The S&P 500 surged, its biggest one-day gain in 2 months. The Dow jumped 588 points. The Nasdaq exploded upward. Regional banks hit record highs. It was a $2 trillion wealth creation event in a single afternoon. So what's actually in the deal? Well, true to form, Trump is keeping his cards close, but what we know is absolutely game-changing. First and foremost, this is not just about Greenland. We've been talking about this for months now, so if you haven't already done so, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll be on the cutting edge of societal evolution, as Rush used to say. Trump explicitly said that the framework covers the entire Arctic region. That's millions of square miles of strategic territory where Russia and China have already been making very aggressive moves for years. Second, Trump revealed to CNBC that the deal involves three critical components: mineral rights, the Golden Dome missile defense system, and American sovereignty over security arrangements that will last, in Trump's words, quote, forever. So let's break down why each of these matters. So first, the minerals. Greenland sits on 1.5 million tons of rare earth minerals, the 8th largest reserve in the world. Rare earth elements are absolutely critical for semiconductors, AI systems, fighter jets, smartphones, electric vehicles, and advanced weapon systems. And right now, China controls nearly the entire global supply chain. They mine it, they process it, they weaponize it. When China wants to punish a country, they simply cut off rare earth exports. It's economic warfare in its purest form. Trump's framework reportedly gives the United States and its European partners access to Greenland's mineral wealth, which is a direct body blow to Beijing's monopoly and a massive strategic win for American technology and defense industries. Second, the Golden Dome, which is arguably the most ambitious defense project since Ronald Reagan's Strategic Defense Initiative. It's a multi-layered missile defense shield designed to protect the entire United States from hypersonic missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and advanced cruise missiles. And Greenland is absolutely critical precisely because of its geography. It sits directly in the flight path of any ICBM launch from Russia or China towards the United States. And experts are unanimously explicit. Deploying Golden Dome interceptors in Greenland creates a much larger buffer for detecting and intercepting incoming nuclear missiles than anywhere on the U.S. mainland. But it's the last provision, the permanence of this arrangement, that's the most shocking of them all. You know, the same nefarious, corrupt forces that have infested Minnesota's government have been eating away at your savings now for years at a federal level. Now, of course, we're talking about inflation, where reckless Federal Reserve policies have been relentlessly devaluing our dollars for decades. Here's a not-so-fun fact for you. Whatever money you had saved up in 2020 has already lost 22% of its value. There are riots over in Tehran over things like this, gang. I mean, your savings didn't shrink. They got robbed slowly and quietly by the hidden tax called inflation. And here's what makes this explosive. Most Americans have 100% of their retirement tied to paper assets, all dependent on a system that just keeps printing more dollars. But thankfully, there's a way to protect what you've worked so hard to build, and that's with physical gold and silver. And that's why I turned to Augusta Precious Metals, the absolute best in the business. Augusta Precious Metals has been helping Americans diversify with physical gold for over a decade. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, thousands of satisfied customers, and unmatched transparency. I cannot recommend them enough. Go to TurleyBuysGold.com right now or text Turley to 35052 to get their free information guide. And here's what you need to understand. This isn't about liquidating everything. This is about repositioning a portion of your savings. This stays inside your IRA or your 401k. No taxes, no penalties. As the best and clear leader in their field with my seal of approval, Augusta Precious Metals makes it simple. It starts with that free guide, then a one-on-one educational call. No obligation, no pressure. They're patriots just like us. You're going to love chatting with them. This is about stability, clarity, and a plan that makes sense in a world that feels increasingly chaotic. Augusta Precious Metals, the best at what they do, the ones I trust, and the ones I recommend to you. Go to turleybuysgold.com or text Turley to 35052. That's 35052 and get your free guide today. You'll sleep better tonight knowing you have a plan. For decades, the United States bankrolled European defense. So since World War II and the Marshall Plan, we not only rebuilt Europe, we protected their borders, we subsidized their security, and we asked for virtually nothing in return. Trump made that very clear in Davos. I mean, he asked bluntly, what does the United States get out of all of this? All this money, other than death, destruction, and massive amounts of cash going to people who don't even appreciate what we do. Trump's framework flips the script. Those days of Europe living off the United States are over. Those were the days of the liberal international order, where Europe could live placidly under the regulations of international institutions like the IMF and the WTO and the World Bank that established the obligations and protocols for all member nations with the backing of the United States military. It was our soldiers, not Europe's, our soldiers that were responsible for enforcing that liberal international order. What Trump has officially now announced at Davos and to Davos is that liberal international order, that era of liberal globalism, is dead. It is over. It is now being replaced by a rising multipolar world composed of civilizational spheres that govern their own respective regions of the world that are united by a common culture, custom, and tradition, particularly a common religious tradition. The era of globalism is dead. The new age of civilizationalism is rising. And in this changing world, Europe is going to have to concede its place in our hemisphere, most especially Denmark's claim over Greenland. That monopolization of Greenland is over. It could easily be allowed to exist during the period of the liberal international order, no problem, but not in a civilizationalist order where we are now the governing civilization responsible for our own hegemonic sphere. This is exactly what President Trump has been doing from day one. Remember Panama, right? I mean, literally the first week he came into office, the Panama Canal, Trump was very aggressive towards the president of Panama for allowing the Panama Canal to basically be taken over by China. And Trump bottom line said, look, it's not happening. Either you're going to rectify that or we're going to rectify that. We'll take the Panama Canal back if we have to. No problem. Panama, Venezuela, of course, with Maduro, Cuba, narco-terrorist boats in the Caribbean, now Greenland. Gang, this is civilizationalism. This is the new multipolar, civilizationalist, rising world happening right before our very eyes. And in light of this rising world, Denmark faced a choice. Negotiate from a position of weakness after saying no, or negotiate from a position of, however reluctant, partnership by saying yes to a framework that actually enhances, ironically, their own security. And they reluctantly chose the latter. As for his game plan of positioning the United States in the civilizationalist world, Trump executed a textbook escalate to de-escalate strategy. Escalate to de-escalate strategy. By threatening terrorists, by refusing to rule out force, by creating maximum pressure, Trump forced Europe to the negotiating table and achieved a framework deal that gives America everything it actually needed. Strategic positioning for missile defense, access to critical minerals, and a commitment from NATO allies to actually contribute to Arctic security while giving America a permanent sovereign position in Greenland. Trump got NATO to negotiate on his terms. He avoided a trade war that would possibly hurt American consumers, and he secured American strategic interests, in his words, forever. And he did it all in less than a month. What we witnessed this week is a masterclass in how a strong America First civilizationalist president operates versus the weak, globalist approach of previous administrations. No Obama-inspired apologies. No Biden pallet to cash. Trump walked into Davos, stared down the entire European establishment, and walked out with a deal that advocates American interests while strengthening, ironically, not weakening, the Western alliance. This is what peace through strength looks like. This is what America First delivers. And this is exactly why Trump is in the White House. Because while everyone else was playing checkers, Trump was playing chess. And he just announced to the entire world, checkmate. Every Thursday I go off script, literally, in the car, in a hotel, on my porch, wherever I am. It's Turley Walks. Raw, unfiltered insight exclusive to my Courageous Patriot Club members. Join now for $10 a month, turley.pub/club.